Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to start looking at triangular prisms. Last week we looked at rectangular prisms, which meant that the bases were rectangles. This time the bases are going to be triangles and the sides are going to be rectangles, because prisms mean that the sides are rectangular. The triangular part, this part tells us what the base is. So if we have a triangular prism, that means our base is a triangle. See, the top and the bottom are both triangles. And then our sides are all rectangles, okay? Now here's one thing that may be a little bit confusing. Most of the time when they're drawn on paper, they will draw them like this. So they look like they're laying down. So a lot of times people think the base, or students may think that the base is actually a rectangle. Well, the base is still the triangle and the sides are the rectangle. So you kind of have to visualize it in your mind and stand it up so you're really looking at what is actually the base. So don't let that confuse you. All right, so we're going to move on and try to solve some of these. We are going to find, let's see, here's our triangular prism. Let me slide it over to make room for the calculator. There we go. We talked about they were slid or laying down, and this one is laying down like I was talking about earlier. We're going to do just like we did with rectangular prisms. We found the area. Why did I write a B up there? I was thinking about the area of the base, sorry. Volume equals. We're going to find the area of the base. Capital B means the area of the base times the height. So remember, the base is always a triangle. So even though it doesn't look like it's sitting on that triangle, that's really the base part. They just took this figure, this shape, let me see, and then laid it down, okay? So the triangle, if we find that triangle, the formula is base times height divided by 2. So some of you may need to write down all the steps, some of you may not, but base times height, if we look here, the base is 4 and the height is 9. So we have 4 times 9, that's base times height, and then divide that by 2. So if you punch in 4 times 9 and then divide that by 2, we get 18. Now we're going to have to take that 18 and multiply it by the height, which is 6. So then we got 18 times 6, and that gives us 108. And then to find our yards up here, it says yards. So when we did base times height, that was yards times yards. And then when we multiplied by the height, that was yards again. So since we multiplied 3 yards together, that's going to be yards cubed, or cubic yards. Okay, let's do another one. All right, again, I'm not going to try to draw them because that would not be recognizable if I drew them. So we've got base, area of the base, times the height. Remember, the base is actually a triangle, okay? So we're going to do base times height divided by 2. That means the area of the base. So we're going to do 8 times 12 and divide that by 2. So 8 times 12 and then divided by 2, and we get 48. Now we have to multiply that by the height of the the height of the triangular prism, which in this case is 2. So 48 times 2 is 96. And we did inches, inches, and inches, so that's cubic inches. So find the area of the base times the height. It's really not that hard. It is sometimes a little bit time consuming to find that triangle, but not hard. So volume equals area of the base, that's capital B, times H. So we've got base times height divided by 2. In this case, it's going to be 7, which is the base, times